second proposal for amendment to the agenda of Thursday. The vote on the proposal for a decision on the closure of the accounts of the European Police College for the financial year 2008 is postponed to a future part session.
The last one. Proszę Państwa,
These 3 items on Wednesday and 2 on Thursday were subject of consultations with the political groups, but as I understand it, Mrs. Andreasen would like to say something on item 2 for Thursday. This is the closure of the accounts for the European Police College for 2008. Mrs. Andreasen, you have the floor.
President, I want to say that our group opposes the postponement of the vote on the closure of the accounts of the CEPOL because this institution has had discharge refused due to irregularities, and we think that there are decisions to be made urgently, so we cannot postpone the vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have 3 proposals for amendment of the agenda on Wednesday. We've consulted the political groups on these. Then we have the first item on Thursday, the waiving of the immunity of Mr. Lisek. Do you have any comments on those 4 proposals for amendments to the agenda? No? In which case, those 4 amendments are adopted and the agenda will be thus amended. We now have to vote on the issue raised by Mrs. Andreasen. A vote on the proposal for a decision on the closure of the accounts of the European Police College. Mrs. Andreasen's political group objects to this proposal for amendment, and Mrs. Andreasen has explained clearly why. I would now ask for somebody in the room to speak in favour of Mrs. Andreasen's motion that the vote not be postponed. Who wishes to speak in favour? You have the floor.
The EU has a very long and undistinguished record as far as its accounting procedures are concerned. I understand that the Court of Auditors has declined to sign off on the budget for the 14th time running. The entity which is being discussed now has a similarly, and if possible even less distinguished record, and it is important that this matter be addressed by the European Parliament forthwith if the European Parliament is to have any credibility at all in these matters.
Thank you very much. Who wishes now to speak against the motion? You have the floor.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. C'était moi qui étais rapporteur.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm the rapporteur on CEPOL discharge, and in the Committee on Budgetary Control, along with the shadows for my report and the closure of accounts, we've in fact scheduled a hearing on the 30th of November so we can hear from CEPOL's director as well as the chair of the governing board. And we've still got some work to do on our inquiry in budgetary control for 2008. There have been amending budgets, and we've talked to the director on 2008. I'd be very sorry if we didn't go through that, and please don't close the accounts, Mr. President. It would be a huge mistake if we were to close them now.
Thank you very much. We now vote on the motion submitted by Mrs. Andreasen, namely that the vote not be postponed until a future session. Who is in favour of the motion? Thank you. Who's against? Abstentions? Mrs. Andreasen's motion is rejected. That vote will therefore be postponed to a future session.